What's up, you guys? BellaRose here. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be so random. It's just amusing. I was thinking the other day about where that phrase, "the way to a man's heart is through his stomach." I was thinking about where it came from. I thought to myself, is this phrase in the Bible? I've heard people reference it when they are preaching sermons. I've heard people say it a lot of times, and I've been thinking to myself, perhaps it's in Proverbs, or maybe it's in Songs of Solomon, or is it probably in the Gospels? I've thought about that recently, and my curiosity made me go and search for it. And of course, it's not in the Bible, it's just an old saying. The way to a man's heart is through his stomach. And many people have said, oh, that saying is one that tends to enslave women, such that women are more concerned about how well they cook when they are going to get married, or they are more concerned about how to satisfy men with, of course, the food that they cook. I'm not sure that where you think this is going is where it's going. Because when I thought about it, I thought to myself, while I understand that that phrase has been peddled just everywhere all over the world, I don't think there is anything wrong with it. And I say this because I know that some of you may remember, if you are on Nigerian Twitter, and maybe you're not even on Nigerian Twitter, you may have heard it in your part of the world, when a lady last year into this year said she wakes up at 4:50 a.m. to cook food for her husband, after he told her that his colleague was bringing an extra spoon so that he could join her to eat her lunch. And she's like, she just got married, she can't lose her husband to some lady who is bringing food for him to the office. And she started waking up at about 4:50 a.m. to make food for him. And of course, many people came at her and said, oh, is your husband a baby? Is he a child? How would you be so threatened by a random babe in your husband's office and be slaving away at 4:50 a.m. to make food for him? Now, my thing is, not every man likes food that much, but I think that when you are with someone who is appreciative of effort that you make when you cook, there is absolutely nothing wrong with going the extra mile to do that thing for them. And I say this because on the day that post went viral on Twitter, I also shared like my 2 cents. I said, we are different people, human beings. Men and women are different. The things that makes us happy are different, right? If a woman doesn't like food, there's something that she likes that if some man somewhere gets it for her, her husband will, or the man in her life will feel threatened. And that's really what it is. But because women don't necessarily see food as a big deal, there is that expectation that if I don't see food as a big deal, why can't you do the same? Why can't you also not see food as a big deal? But if, for instance, you love perfumes, wink wink, I love perfumes, but if you love perfumes, for instance, and maybe there's a perfume that's on your wish list, right, and maybe you just mention it in passing once, and some guy in your office buys it for you, and maybe it's a really expensive perfume and the perfume that is on your wish list, some guy at your office buys it, how will the person in your life not feel like, oh, that's odd? They will feel bad about it, right? They will feel maybe not threatened, but it's going to affect them in some way. It reminds me of this post that also went viral. I think it was last year or 2 years ago, about a guy who said he always wanted, I think, a wristwatch or something, and his girlfriend had bought it for him, but she hadn't given it to him. But on his birthday, where there was a small party, his best friend, or maybe his best friend, or some girl that is his friend, gave him the wristwatch right there and made him open her own gift last. And the girlfriend said she felt really bad about it, and that she was wondering why the girl bought that watch for her boyfriend, because even she had also bought it, yada yada yada. I mean, so that's the same thing. If there is something that you like and somebody goes ahead and does it for you, it will mean so much to you. But if it is not someone that you are in love with, or someone who is in your life, it's going to hurt that person, because they see it as their duty to provide that thing for you, whatever it is, such that if somebody else does it, it feels like they have been stripped of that responsibility. But if you put food or the likeness for food in the same category as the likeness for whatever, maybe it's that you love traveling, maybe it is that you love going to see the movie, maybe it's that you love wigs, for instance, you will see that the same efforts that someone puts into getting a lady the wig of her dreams, I guess, that will be appreciated, talked about, applauded. Sometimes it's not present when it is from a perspective of, oh, a guy likes food and you are going the extra mile to make food for him. I don't know if you guys understand my point. I mean, I know that cooking requires a lot more effort, right? It's a high intense, I guess, activity, right? Because you sweat, you go to the market, you buy this and you buy that. But I think one thing that many people missed out on that lady's post, which is sort of the reference for this video anyway, is she said on some days she's not working. She's working from home on some days. And I think she didn't even have a full-time job at the time. And she's like, if she's at home and she's not doing anything, why is it too much for her to say, oh, I want to make food for my husband. Do you know what I mean? If somebody, for instance, works, saves money, and buys you that thing that you really love, why don't we exactly appreciate the fact that, oh, this person is also slaving in some way, and trying to get me the things that I like? Double standards, man. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with somebody who likes food, and if you are in their life, particularly if you're their husband or wife, please don't do it for girlfriend and boyfriend. If you are their spouse, there is nothing wrong with going the extra mile to get that thing for them, because you would also want them to do something extra for you when it comes to something that you personally really, really love. God bless. Let me know what your thoughts are as well.
Yo, Bella, yo, BellaRose.